Bethany Mota hosts the Influencer reality series Follow Me now on Crackle. Bethany, thank you so much for your time today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
One lucky winner is going to win a big cash prize. Tell us a little bit about the concept of the show.
Yeah, so Follow Me is a 10 episode series, and we follow 10 content creators. They all kind of have their own niche. So we have like someone who does comedy, a girl who does beauty and makeup. We have storytellers, like it's just everything. All of our content creators kind of have their own deal and what they are talented at. And it's super cool because every week they participate in different challenges. So the show is also sponsored by Mars Wrigley. So they work with Skittles, Snickers, M&Ms to do these challenges, create content every week, and they're all competing for that $50,000. So there's a lot of stress and happiness, and it kind of really shows, I would say, the experience of being a social media creator and how you can kind of feel the pressure, but you also learn a lot about yourself as well.
I mean, especially too, with people just kind of scrolling as fast as they can, you really have to get that message across or the essence of what the message is going to be pretty straight on because otherwise people may not wait 20, 30 seconds to figure out if you don't get it within those first couple of seconds, they're on to the next video.
Yeah, and that's why I love this show because we have a lot of guest mentors come in, celebrity guest mentors. Like this season, we have Kika Kim, Jordan Jones, JoJo Sims, Chloe Lukasiak. We have so many cool people that come in and, they're mentoring our influencers and they're judging their performance at the end. So they're really kind of implementing what you just said, where it's like when you watch a video, they're coming in and they don't really know these influencers that personally. So they're fully judging off of the content that they're creating that day. And it's really cool to see them kind of, help our influencers and see that journey.
I think a lot of people, go on social media and, aspire to be a content creator and maybe work with some of these big brands, but you really get to see all the work that goes into it, not just the fun side, but also the business side, the creative side. And, sometimes not just one person, it's a team of people making this work.
Yeah, that's what I think some people don't always realize. And definitely a lot of content creators have full teams, but there's also a big percentage that don't, that kind of like are the editor, are the writer, filmer, and they also star in it. So that's what you see also in the series is our social media creators. They're all taking on all of the roles and they're wearing all of the hats. And they're also doing it with a pretty short time frame. Like some of the time frames they were given, I was like, I don't even know if I would literally be able to do that. It's like such a quick turnaround, but that's what I mean when I say you really get to kind of see all the sides of content creation.
Let's talk a little bit about creating engaging content because it's something that I think a lot of people excel at and other people try to aspire. Look at other content creators, but talk a little bit about what that means, maybe for you and in the context of the show.
I would say content creation, I think being a good content creator, I think it really comes down to knowing yourself very well because I've been in it for like over 10 years and it's ever changing. And I think sometimes it can feel overwhelming because there's so many people doing it. And in a competition like this, there's obviously so many other really talented competitors. But I think for the show and also just social media in a grand landscape, I feel like it just comes down to really knowing what your niche is and knowing what you love doing and finding kind of the little spark in you and your personality to apply to the videos that you make. So it could be even like the little spark that your friends and family love about you, something in your personality that is just there and is just naturally inside of you. I think tapping into that is what gives you such a memorable quality to your content and to your presence online, and honing in on that I think makes a huge difference for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about the contestants that are on the show because there's a lot of people that create wonderful content online, but let's talk about these people that not only do they create this incredible content, but people stop, they like it, they share it, they subscribe to their content. Like talk a little bit about that thing of not just, oh, this is great, next, but these are these people that people, I want to subscribe, I want to see more of the content that they're creating.
Yeah, so actually our cast this season is incredible. They all, like I said, they kind of have their own niche and they're all so talented and they're so determined. Like this entire season, they were just so dedicated to the experience. And I could understand why they've already amassed a really great following for themselves prior to the show. And I think that when you watch the show, even episode one, you will see that like, whoa, these guys really love it. Like they really love to make content and they're all so different and they all have something to offer. And what's crazy is as the show progresses, you'll see them kind of even break out of shells that they didn't even know that they were in and create content that they feel is like the best that they've made, or they become parts of themselves that they didn't know really existed.
When you're working with a brand, you don't know who's watching, or it's everybody. So talk a little bit about maybe what the strategy needs to be to not only show yourself, but also a brand that's a global brand, and they have so many different people that are not just looking for comedy or fitness, but they need to kind of reach out to everyone.
Yeah, well, like you said, the cast this season, it is so mixed. Like Keith is really great. He's like in that fitness. He's like got that going. And we have Kayla this season, who's an incredible makeup artist. Carrington does a lot of kind of like fun comedy stuff. So they're really so different. And sometimes I do think when it comes to working with brands, it can feel intimidating if you're stuck to a specific niche of like, oh, I only do comedy. Like, how does that work for a brand? Um, but I think regardless of what you do and what your niche is, there's always a way to incorporate a brand if it makes sense. And I think that if it's a brand that you use, then there's always a way to kind of write it in or to make it feel organic to the content that you're already making. And we really do see that this season as well because they're given those challenges. Like we worked with Skittles and M&Ms and M's and Snickers, and you have this whole cast that are, it's like they have their things that they're used to doing, and somehow they're still able to work in this brand or this candy and make it something that the brand would love to promote and love to put out on their socials, as well as the creator would feel comfortable posting it on theirs as well. So it's cool to see them strike that perfect balance.
You started in the game, way before, the pandemic, when, things kind of changed as far as social media goes. What is the difference that you're seeing now from like when you started to maybe some of the challenges and opportunities that, creators have now?
Oh, wow. I mean, there's so many changes. When I started, Instagram wasn't even existing yet. So, like, there's been so many changes in social media since I've started. But I will say, I think accessibility has been one of the greatest changes that I think I'm so happy to see it. Like, when I first started, it was YouTube, and that was kind of one of the only platforms that you could really utilize. And now, we have TikTok and we have so many other platforms that are making it so much easier for anyone to create an account, post a video about something that they enjoy, and that get streamlined to people that get it and that relate. And I think that's really cool because it makes the world feel a lot smaller when you can go online and be like, oh, this thing that I really like, I'm not the only one that likes it. There's a full community of people that relate, and we can kind of bond in that thing that we all enjoy. So I definitely love how widespread it's gotten and how easy it is for anyone to be a part of.
And then final thing here, someone gets inspired by the show and they say, they might start off from zero, whether it might be Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, whatever platform. What message do you have for them as far as aspiring to create content and, ultimately, possibly be a contestant on the show in the future?
Whoa, I would say definitely stay focused on what you can give to your audience and what feels natural for you to give. If it's like a specific niche, whether you're into makeup or comedy or cooking, I think really staying in tune with yourself through it all makes a huge impact on everything that you're putting out. And also, I think when you focus on that more than anything versus like having an expectation of like, okay, I want to get this many followers in this amount of time, it's easier to feel disappointment in that. And so I think focusing on what you're wanting to give to people will take you much further than just thinking about like, exactly what you want to get out of it immediately.
Wonderful. Well, Bethany, thank you so much for your time today. Follow me, season number 2 on Crackle. Go ahead and stream it. Of course, the platform is for free. And thank you so much. I cannot wait to see how the contestants do and how the season goes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.